The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic.
And Crystal Mitchell. Welcome.
And we're going to have a great show today, Crystal.
We are. Welcome to this week's show. It's March 25th. And we are excited. We have some rock stars going to be
March 31st.
Oh, March 31st. That's right, huh? I'm sorry. We have a fifth Friday. March 31st. And it is the last day of the month and the last day of National Women's Month.
That's right.
So we're going to carry it on out with two powerhouse women, and it's actually been a great month. We've done a lot of honoring and celebrating the sisterhood.
And you know what, Crystal? I feel so awful because I wasn't here half of the time to help in the celebration.
I know. Well, we were holding it down for you, so we knew you were here in spirit.
Thank you.
But we had some great guests this month. Last week, I had brought in one of my sisters from the Bella Network, two of my sisters from the Bella Network, actually, and one was the guest host. And
I saw the video.
You saw the video?
Yeah,
we were enjoying ourselves.
You guys having a good time.
We were. Jovita, she's like one of our West Coast hidden figures.
Oh, yeah.
and it's interesting. She knew nothing, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
She knew nothing about the women in the Hidden Figures.
Really?
She found out about it at the same time we found out about it.
Oh, man.
Isn't that amazing?
She saw the movie.
She saw the movie, and that's when she saw that there were sisters of her own on the East Coast, and she even worked at Langley, and she was in aerospace.
Wow.
She had never ever had heard of those ladies.
See, that's the thing that happens out there. We talked about this the first week of, I think it was in February. There's a lot of things that we've done in history that no one really recognizes, no one talks about, and it's phenomenal. It's helping us to trail the blaze that we're blazing right now.
Exactly.
And that's like validation right there with her not knowing some of these things, and it's been out there.
It's been out there, and she was she actually went to school and got her master's in engineering.
Yeah.
So you would think, because in the movie that was a room full of black women, forward thinking, especially the one that read a book to learn how to do Fortran, and taught everybody else.
That's what I'm talking about.
What happened? Those women were silenced.
Yeah.
They didn't even speak on their own accomplishments.
They were silenced. And as a matter of fact, if you notice one part of the movie when they call her because they couldn't launch without her or any of the people in the room.
Well, Glenn said he wasn't going to nowhere and wasn't coming or going without her calculations.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
then when they called her, they said, no, you wait out here. Let's see if we can still work with this without you.
Right.
They found out they couldn't,
right.
So they had to bring her in.
They had to bring her back.
It's the same thing with a lot of black women right now and a lot of African Americans. We're phenomenal in what we do, but only us know about it.
Only us know about it.
So that's why you and I have this platform to let people know about it, Crystal.
How great we are, that we should be able to pat ourselves on the back and talk about the things that are important to us, and as well be open to learning more to help us become more successful in what we do. And I was just sharing with you a few minutes ago, I ran across this book this week. You think I'm usually, the activist that I am, and I'm always on my soapbox, right? Well, man, after I read this, I didn't even got past the first 25 pages, and I had to stop reading yesterday. I was in the nail shop, and I'm reading, and I'm going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was just like, but the things that we went through and we've gone through and our ancestors have gone through, to be where we are today, or where our parents were, or we were able to become educated after all the stuff that took place from slavery, and then post-slavery is probably worse than the slavery time, because here you have an idea that you're free, but then you're really not free.
No, you're not. No,
and they still were trying to put us back into bondage. And I think I ran across this book because I've been on this quest as to why we are hated so much, and I just could not figure this out. So earlier, when we first launched the show, I talked about the collective collaborations, and it was about us being the economy, and that was one of the things that they refused and didn't want to let go of. Right. But it was a little more than that. So, and this book kind of like hit me right between the eyes, because it was really, yes, the economy, we were free labor. And so when we talk about making America great again, that's really what they're talking about, is going back to a time when we were free labor. But as I shared with you, in White Rage, and it was written by Dr. Carol Anderson. She, I think she writes for the Washington Post, and she did an op-ed, and it was an op-ed that started this, and then she went in to do research, and she went into some deepness, but she talked about the Andrew Johnson, which was the president after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and he was doing everything in his power to take us back to antebellum age, in slavery, but slavery under other names. So they set up all the black codes that were preventing us from doing anything. Yeah. I don't even know how we managed. I don't even know how we survived because every turn, it was like a maze that had no out.
Well, the reason why we survived, Crystal, and I'm sure many of us know this, is because we have that built-in sustainability in us. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because think about it. Not only as African American, but think about us as entrepreneurs. Everything is against us.
Everything.
The banks won't lend us money.
Right.
Contract providers won't give us contract.
Right.
Our competitors try to step on us.
Right.
Customers don't buy from us because we're too small.
Right.
So there's no one there to support us.
And
we got to work like 3-4 times harder to make it. And we've got to be very creative about what we do.
And we have to be very creative, and the even our own are afraid to shop and buy from us.
That's
but I understand, right? Because we've been so conditioned to think that we're inferior, that we even think we're inferior.
It's a Willie Lynch technique right there. It's a Willie Lynch.
and that's just amazing. But so those of us that do exceed and succeed, it's an act of God, man. It's an act of God.
And guess what? We're not going to stop.
And we're not going to stop.
Keep going.
Yeah, that made me so much.
Keep going.
Just sitting there, I was just really into a place where there is nothing that can stop you. Nothing.
In my class on Wednesday night that I was teaching for the National Latina Business Women Association, I was telling them, I said, listen, this may sound somewhat negative to you guys, but I want you to think about it this way. You are treated worse than anything on this earth. As an entrepreneur. Everything is against you, but you can't let that keep you down. You got to buckle up. You got to be better than your competitors. You got to make sure you're business ready, your contract ready, and your bank loan ready. You got to have all the things you need at your fingertips.
At your fingertips.
So you don't want to wait to get ready. You got to be ready at all times. And that's what's going to help you to excel. And
you got to stay creative. You got to think, you guys tease me at how resourceful I am. But I'm resourceful because, one, I'm running a nonprofit that, nobody wants to sponsor.
Right.
And so that means you got to go through some extremes to be able to still have the impact, but with no resources, right? And then my own business, I've been in business for over 30 years. And, so being able to provide quality services to my clients and still at the same time take care of myself. So that means you got to be very resourceful. You can't, and quitting is not even an option.
No.
There's not. I remember after the recession, right during the recession, I lost about 65% of my clientele. And so afterwards, and so sitting talking to friends, and they're going, so are you going to go to work for somebody, Crystal? I'm going, whoa, I haven't worked for anybody in 20-something years. First of all, who the heck would hire me? Because
it's not in the DNA.
That's not even in
not in the DNA.
Yeah, I left because I couldn't even do that when I left the corporate world. And I thought, no, I'm going to have to figure out I got a whole lot of skills, so let me see how I can work these skills in order to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah. So that was never in my line of vision.
Not at
all. And I just utilized different, thank you. I just used different skill sets that I had to be able to maintain until I could branch out and partnered. The most important part, I think, of what I did was making sure I collaborated and partnered with you, Recycling Black Dollars. We are like co-partners to all the other community-based organizations out there. It's not about competition. Yeah. It's about us being able to still do what we do and still do it with efficiency. And so that was how I survived, was the collaboration. And that's why I know collaboration works.
Oh, it works. I mean, all of the contract providers right now, instead of looking at individual small business to do business with Crystal, they want to see a collaboration of small businesses coming together because they're stronger, their capacity is bigger. They can provide more resources in a lot of different areas.
Right.
So that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Look at the primes, the bigger primes. They're forming joint ventures and they're going after these big projects.
Right. Exactly.
And that's what the owners want to see. They want to see that collaboration. So we've got to do that. So all of you entrepreneurs who are listening today, thank you for tuning in. And you're on the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and we're talking about phenomenal women in history. We've got two of them in the studios today. You're going to be hearing from them. We can't wait to talk to them. So if you want to tune in and join into the conversation, I wanted you to give us a call. Our number is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375.
Yeah, so how was it in Vegas last week?
Oh man, it was phenomenal. They gave me a video that we did. I put it on YouTube.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it today when I was doing the marketing for the show.
That is unbelievable. We had a video crew that came in and they heard about the program we were launching, the pilot program. Because, let me step back and tell you a little bit about it. So the Nevada Contractors Association, somehow they heard about me. I don't know how they heard about me.
That's because you were a rock star too, man.
I guess so. I think you're responsible for that, Crystal. So they called me up and said, "Hey, we want to launch a contract readiness program here in Vegas. Can you come and teach it for us?" And I'm going, let's talk about it. So we decided to talk. We flew up there, did a presentation for them. They loved it and said, "Let's get started." I said, "When?" "Next week." I'm going, "What? So soon?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it." But as a business ready, contract ready, bank loan ready,
all you had to do was just put your clothes in a suitcase, right?
I'm ready to go. So I put the program together, launched it, and we're there. So last week we did a program called Cash Flow Management and Business Infrastructure. It was phenomenal. Small businesses, they loved it. So they brought the reason they launched this program is because they were trying to get the Raiders. They wanted the Raiders to
and that happened. That took place this week.
Exactly. So they're building that stadium now for the Raiders, and part of this program is for me to train these contractors to get them ready to work on that stadium. So that's going to be a phenomenal thing. So I'm very excited about it. So many of these contractors, they don't have capability statement. They don't have anything. And they've been in business for a while. So
because this is not a business, doing business in the contract type of world.
Exactly.
Most of our small businesses don't know that that is like a gold mine over there.
Oh yeah. So I'm getting them ready, and not only are we getting them ready for that stadium, but we're also getting them ready for the casinos.
Okay.
Because as you know, there are 4 major casinos on the Strip, and they own everything else.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're getting them ready for those casinos as well. So any of you entrepreneurs who want to do business in Vegas, you let me know. I'll get you involved in the process, okay?
Okay.
So that's wonderful.
That's fantastic.
And then, of course, I had the National Latina Business Women Association. We just launched our Series 3 of our 7-class series.
Okay.
On Wednesday. Of course, Mona was a part of that.
Yeah, my sister, because when she was on the show, we talked to her. She's with Keller Williams, and so she and her, the manager of her Keller Williams branch, they didn't realize that they could be service providers under a contract. So that's what they're doing. So she's doing that on behalf of her actual office. So that's fantastic, and I'm really excited for her because she kind of had gotten away from the real estate place, and she was a little disenchanted with what was going on. So this could be a great place because that takes them out of the competitive pool with all other real estate agents and puts them in a commercial pool and big projects. So
I could tell she loves it. I was watching her in the class, while I'm teaching, I'm looking at her and I'm calling on her because she's shy.
Yes, she's.
So I called on
really. her. Yeah, I'm the outgoing one.
I know.
and she's the more introverted one.
Oh yeah. So she was participating, and I loved it. She's really getting into the class. So I'm looking forward to the next class.
She does very well in classroom settings, and she does great taking tests and all that sort of stuff. That's more her forte. Studying for a test. That's her. Yeah. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff.
I know.
I can do research, but sitting there and doing the repetitive stuff, my entrepreneurial brain says you don't do repetition very well. But I'm glad. So I'm sure she's gonna really, really enjoy it.
Oh yes. So that's pretty much. I've done some other stuff, but that's a highlight. Now tell me about you. What have you been doing?
Well, let's see. Mine's I've been fighting a cold, but in between just finishing up tax season. Yeah. My tax season is pretty much finished.
I forgot that.
Yeah, but I've actually picked up quite a few new clients, referrals.
Good.
I think without us even knowing the show, just all the marketing, we're becoming more popular than we know.
Yeah.
I got a email from Larita Shelby.
Oh.
So they want to honor me which kind of blew me away when she sent me this. And I went, "You talking about me?" So she wants to honor me as distinguished women of the airways. I was like, "What, me?"
But see, Crystal, we all know that you're phenomenal. We know that. You see what I mean? Because we've seen you in action, we've listened to you, and you're out there working the room wherever you go. We all know you're great. So that recognition is well deserved.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. That was really a highlight of my week.
That's good. That's good.
Let's see what else went on. That's pretty much my uncle. We just found out that he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. So I was dealing with that, but he's in high spirits, and I got the doctors on towing the line. Yeah. So that's for me, that's what's important. Yeah. They hear me, they hear him, right. And they're going to provide the right service and training for him. So they're all on the same page. I had to put a halt to a whole lot of stuff, and now they realize that, okay. And I was actually kind of surprised because his doctor, he's at the VA, he actually called me because I had stopped everything. They had this whole aggressive schedule. Like, whoa, hold up. I don't know nothing about any of this. Let me get some information over here, and I'll come back, and we'll have this conversation. So he called me. It's like 10 days later, and he says, well, I just wanted to make sure where we were and that you did talk to his urologist. And I'm going, you're calling me? And so while I'm talking to him, someone interrupted. He goes, no, I'm talking to a patient's niece. I must give her my undivided attention. I'm like, all right, so you know who's the boss here.
That's what I'm talking about.
So my uncle's going to be all right.
That's good. See, he knew he's in good hands. Yeah. That's why he wanted to have you around. So that's great. That's good news. That's good news.
So we're going to move forward.
So the treatment is going to be...
we'll start the treatment I'll meet with the doctor, and we'll start the treatment on April 6th.
That's good.
So we'll see how that goes. And but I have high hopes, and my uncle is very healthy. And I told the doctor, my uncle is in his 80s, but he's still teaching.
Wow.
In fact, we're going to do some stuff with him because they have. My uncle actually worked on a program at the Urban League called the LEAP program. Now this is almost 50 years ago.
Wow.
And it was at that time it was a $5 million program where they did the post for the testing for the contractors, for the apprentices.
Oh, okay.
So he taught them how to pass the test. And so it's really all about the math and so
amazing.
forth. So now, 80 years old, he's still teaching the class.
And I'm sure many of the contractors in the community are proteges of his work, right?
In fact, there's a whole segment that from 50 years that are just now retiring. So his partner is a guy that actually came through his program.
Yeah.
He said he would have never been a sheet metalist if it had not been for my uncle.
Amazing.
And
That's
so
amazing.
he's working with them. So we're with Recycling Back Dollars, we're going to start meeting with the unions and get a listing of all of their members, and then go for some proposals with Edison and Sempra, and that way that I can help them get their program funded because they're not a nonprofit.
Great.
So we're going to do some things like that.
That's
and then,
good. I like
then
that.
we can bring some of those contractors in and get them certified, the ones that's not.
That is good.
Making sure that the apprentice that they're teaching and they're passing the test now have a place that they can go work.
That is great.
Yeah.
That is great. See, that's why I want all the entrepreneurs out there to know that this program that we have here, Crystal and I, called the BusinessZone, this program is designed for you to help you to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. And then once we do that, we get you matched up with contract providers so you can obtain contract opportunities, supply diversity contract providers such as Edison, Metro, LAUSD, etc. So I just want you guys to know that. Reach out to us, give us a call, reach out to our website, and you too can be a part of these programs.
Right, because that's vitally how we're going to change the economics in our community.
Oh yeah.
Because if our small businesses can actually do business with big business, now they're not hurting and trying to manage their businesses on very small resources.
Right.
So we can get them in that place. And you and I both know, everybody, the Metro, all of them, you can go in for the SB to the certification classes and you walk out, you may even get certified. But once you come back home, you don't know what you're supposed to do with it. You don't know how to do.
You're going, okay, now that I'm certified, what do I do with
Right,
this?
exactly. Or you go and you sit in those classes and you're going, okay, but what's the first step?
Yeah, exactly.
How do I navigate through this? Because it's really not something I'm accustomed to, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. Now, Gilbert, this is your area of expertise. I may be the math person over here and the business and the accounting thing, but yours is the whole certification. You completely understand it and get that. And you're a certified business owner. So really, you guys, our coaching over here is going to change change you and how you do business.
Yes. And if you're not quite sure what you need to do, get enrolled in our program. Crystal, she facilitates a number of different training programs. I do the same thing. Reach out to us. Give us a call. Our number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375.
Yeah. So before we bring our guests up and before we introduce them, did you hear on the news? Now, this is an opinion from a man to a female. So, Vice President Pence, did you hear anything what he did? Okay.
No.
So, about 15 years ago, he made a statement which they regurgitated, and it was all in the news this week. So he made a statement. This is in honor of Women's National Women's Month.
Right.
He does not meet with women outside of an office unless his wife is in presence.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he's afraid of the temptation that may take place if he's actually having a drink or having a meeting outside of an office space.
So it's not because of the respect, but it's because of the temptation.
The temptation.
Okay.
So this morning when I was watching The View, the ladies were having a conversation, and so one of the ladies was like, well, wait a minute, do you not trust yourself?
Exactly.
And do you not think she trusts herself to know that they're in a business setting and that there's boundaries? And so they were asking Axelrod, he was one of the guest hosts today. And he says a lot of women are baseball owners.
Right.
What? I couldn't go sit down and have a meeting with them outside of their office without there being some implication that there was some improprieties going on?
You know,
I mean, that's some warped thinking, isn't it?
You know what that means? That means he's been down that path before. This isn't the first time. He's been down there, and he probably have gotten caught many times. And he's trying to put that out there to say, I don't want to do that because I don't trust myself.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
And so he was saying that it was him putting his marriage first.
Yeah.
But I mean, those two have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
I'm sure once we dig in those closets somewhere, we'll find some more skeletons. I'm sure. I mean,
can you imagine not being able to meet with a female client?
That's ridiculous.
Unless your wife or your girlfriend was sitting right there with you. What kind of nonsense is that?
Makes no sense. These guys, man, they get away with this stuff.
Yeah, they do.
If it was the previous president saying that stuff, they'd be all over him.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that was crazy. I mean, all the stuff that's been, Maxine Waters, O'Reilly was attacking her wig this week. I mean, okay, you people what kind of Kool-Aid have y'all drinking right now? The water is diseased.
For all of those guys who are listening, those stupid guys who are listening, who are talking all that mess, let me tell you this. My favorite target client group are women. Okay? They are women. I work much better with women clients. So I'll put that out there for you.
I mean, so that's just some of the craziness that came from Washington.
And there are more women business owners out there than men.
Right, exactly. And in your case, they pay better, right?
And they pay much better, much faster, more efficiently. That's why I choose them. And they'll listen to our coaching much more readily than the male business owners. So that's why they're my target demographic.
Right, it's crazy. We're
ridiculous.
We're in some interesting times. You have to do business in these insane times with this nonsense that's coming out of
out of
DC. Just insane. So I think let me see. The only thing I want to say this at the beginning of the show, and I know you haven't done this yet, so you need to be doing this. So the Miller Coors.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
So the deadline is April 14th.
Oh, okay.
So you got to get
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So there is a application process. If you are looking to fund your dream, there is a $100,000 business pitch competition. You have to be 21 years or older. Mainly because you can't get on their site without being 21, because it's Miller Lite, is the a beverage alcohol beverage company, and Damon John is going to watch you or listen to you pitch your business, and they will select a finalist, a semi-finalist from each coast. It's 5 from each region, actually, Western, and then there's the Southern East, Southeast, or Southwest entity, and then there's Chicago and the South, and then New York. So you will have an opportunity from these 5 regions to pitch your business to Damon John, and the winner will receive a grand prize of $100,000 plus, because if you win the region, then you receive $20,000, and then if you receive the full...
You guys don't need to apply, because I'm going to win.
So Small Biz Pro, we need $100,000 will take small...
We need it for this program.
Right, so get on there. I'm going to send you the link today so you can do that. Make that your priority.
I keep forgetting.
So we're going to go to break, but before that, I'm going to... Hey, my niece is on the line. She's on Facebook Live. She is in Egypt. She's a makeup artist working on the set there, doing makeup for... They're doing filming for Ramadan right now.
Really?
So she's going to be doing that for the next 6 months.
Hey, niece.
Her name is her name is Tierney. I am very concerned about when this is over, how we're going to get her back into the United States, because she's a dual passport owner, and with the things going on, and she's a Muslim, and she has a Arabic last name.
Well, we got to keep this restriction going, because they're trying to They're trying to do what they can do to get it implemented, which the judges are saying no.
Right, exactly. So. And California is, we're sanctioned city, so there's some things going on that's going to affect us greatly. Right. But there's some other things going on in the NBA, at the SBA, though, that they're really trying to put a major focus. I read about that today on minority women. Entrepreneurs. So we need to really look into that.
I've been doing some research on that new SBA executive director because I don't think her background is in small business because she was a wrestler, manager of a wrestling team. So I don't understand how that comes together. So I want to do some research on that because, we are advocate of small businesses. Yeah. And we do whatever we need to do to see what type of funding, grants, loan programs are out there to help these small businesses. So we want to see where she falls within that spectrum. So.
Yeah, we do. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to have our first guest, Dr. Cozette White, and she is the money doctor. So we're going to find out maybe she has some tidbits and can help our small businesses.
Well,
and
I can't wait.
You can't wait. And then after that, we have another rock star in the studio, Miss Norma Hollis. She is the voice doctor, and she talks about being authentic and doing what you do and speaking on yourself and on your business. And so we're gonna have a fantastic show today.
We are honoring women.
Honoring women. Okay. So this month, we are carrying it on out, and this will be the last day for honoring women. And next month, we just go into honoring Black businesses. So we'll still be honoring us and women and men.
You're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
The reason I'm involved with Miller Lite Tap the Future is because I think that they're giving resources to everyday people in the community, and they're changing lives, and other people are witnessing them changing lives as well.
Holding true should be something everybody practices, but especially entrepreneurs. Sticking to your beliefs and your core values. We all have our own experiences and our own thoughts that make us who we are. And holding true, especially as an entrepreneur, is what's going to make you different. It's what's make you stand out. It's going to make you sustain as a business. And when things get tough, that's when you want to be holding true. That's when you want to go back to your core values.
Pretty early on, we had a lot of investors suggesting that we take the company one way or another. And it's against what we believed in our core was the right thing for Swift. And so we had to hold true to our business plan and our ideas, and it really turned out for the better.
There's been plenty of times where we could have been swayed. We really just didn't care what anyone else thought. We said, we're going to make this happen, and we made it happen.
It's better to just hold true to your core purpose because you're obviously starting your business for a reason. Make sure you hang on to that.
In entrepreneurship, there's a lot of shiny objects, and if you hold true to what your purpose is and what value you want to bring, I feel like you're going to get much further than if you keep jumping from one thing to the other.
The resources from Miller Lite Tap the Future contest have been great. I think it was a big stepping off point for us. It was the first time where we started to get a lot of exposure to more brands. So I think that really got the ball rolling for us.
When you hold true to something, there's a real passion. Most entrepreneurs are out to solve a problem or a need that they found in the market. They're normally not out there just to make money. They're out there because they feel that they can do it better or it hasn't been done, and they need to hold true to this desire to make change.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic. So Crystal, what are we doing right now?
Well, we're getting ready to introduce our guest, Dr. Cozette White. And who is she? She's an acclaimed author, a financial analyst, and a tax strategist, speaker, and philanthropist. And she inspires individuals to live in their purpose, embrace passion, and achieve personal greatness through a balance in work and life. She understands transformation occurs when people change their mindset and increase their capacity. When we think our potential cannot go beyond a puddle, we must challenge that mindset to be twofold and realize that our potential can fill an ocean. Cozette will propel the listeners to expand their vision to see the endless realities of their full capacity. And welcome, Dr. White.
Welcome, Dr. White.
Thank you. How are you?
So pleased to have you. So please, and when I was doing my reading the information that you sent me, and of course our good friend Barbara Lindsay, who referred you over to me, I'm just so impressed. So you are definitely a rock star, and I am so honored because, Gilbert, her list of guest appearances are phenomenal, man. We are really honored. So
we're not worthy.
She's been on Forbes, and she's been on KTT. She's just been everywhere, man.
All over. Wow.
So thank you for being a guest on our show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
I'm honored.
And for our people, as much information as we can supply them, because one of the reasons the reasons we started or launched the Business Zone was because we felt that not enough information was disseminated to our people so that we can make the right decisions. And the information that we did have sometimes is so antiquated, or we heard it from somebody else. And a lot of times we just operate out of fear.
Exactly. Fear.
Fear is like the major motivator. It really hurts us. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because they don't do anything. They just sit still and just wait, thinking, okay, I'll just wait it out. No, when danger comes, you can't wait out. You can't wait it out.
Right.
So, has that been your experience as well?
That's been my experience, and that's why I started helping small business owners. A lot of them, like you said, they come to you with the unknown. They're hearing he say, she say, or I thought I should have done this way, or I was told to set my business up as an LLC. I should have set it up as a S Corp, or a lot of different things, just unknowledgeable, unknown. So that's one of the reasons why I started the business and started helping small business owners.
And being the money doctor, where did that come from?
Well, that started years ago. I was a law student.
Okay.
I was a law student, and my teacher guided me when I was in high school, and she really advised me to take an accounting course. I did. I stayed on that path. I didn't veer left. I didn't veer right.
Okay.
And that's how I became so passionate about what I do. Just helping business owners grow.
Okay. Yeah, accounting is my background, and that's you know how a business operates. I don't care what they tell you. When you sit down and look at their book, you're like, oh, okay, all righty.
So that happened last month, huh?
Right, and you going, wow, okay,
right?
But yeah.
And I also heard you say you do taxes as well. So, when you get on that side of the seating versus, seeing the books, it's like something doesn't match.
Yes.
What's going on?
Right. Exactly. And I stopped really doing the taxes part. I prefer to do the bookkeeping part because, one, I don't like all that stress in March and April. It's already bad enough with the backup because I stopped March 31st.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
Actually, I've been done since the 15th. I just had a few more that I've been doing. I think I'm more of a troubleshooter. I come in and fix the mess somebody else because they didn't pay the right people and didn't want to spend the money.
Okay.
So I come to fix the mess. That's when I prefer that type of work.
Okay.
I can get in, get out. But I'm absolutely amazed at the people that wait again.
Yes.
And then when they need it, because they're trying to get a loan or they're trying to buy a house or they're trying to expand their business, and now they put you under pressure because everything is not working and they need this like right now.
It's last minute. It's yesterday. I needed it 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's your fault, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. And you haven't filed taxes in 2 years. Really? My fault?
See, that's a big part of what we do here is try to get them ready, business ready, bank loan ready, and contract ready. Now, what are some of your target demographics, Dr. White?
The target demographics are predominantly women is who I work with.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so as you said earlier, there's a reason why.
That's right. That's right. They listen.
They do.
They listen.
They do. But it is definitely women, and what I find is that, as you just said, unknowledgeable, and my responsibility or the role that I play with the business owners is to truly get them up and running, establish what type of business formation they need. Mm-hmm. If they've been in business for a while, maybe they're flatline, maybe they have peaks and valleys. I look at the numbers, I look at the operations to see where is the money being left on the table, where are the holes, what do we need to tweak? Do you need to reassess your margins? Do you need to reassess
your
ratios? What is it? Yes, so that's where I go in and help the business owners look at the metrics. We have all this digital marketing right now, and a lot of people are advertising, but are you looking at your return on your investment? Are you converting?
Right.
So that's what I help the business owners do.
That's great. Now, let me ask you this. Do you also, with regard to their corporation status, LLC and all of that, do you file that for them as well?
I do. I help them with the business formation, sit them down, go over the pros and cons, what they should or shouldn't do, that type of thing. I never tell a client what they should. I leave that on them.
So you give them the options. You say, because really, and this is one of the things that we teach in our workshops is when people say, what structure should I take? We say, okay, here are the structures that are out there. Here are the liabilities, and here are the benefits.
Right.
And they make their decisions from that. Because you don't want to tell them, okay, choose an S Corp, and they go, I should have chosen LLC.
Right.
And then it creates a problem.
Right. Just go over the pros and cons.
Exactly. So when you apply for each one of those structures for them, I'm sure you've got a rate, right? Is it public that you put out there, or is it just between you and the client?
It's usually just between me and the client.
Okay. So you don't, like LegalZoom, you don't put it up there and say,
no.
365. And
no, because sometimes a client may come to me and may want something else in that package.
Right.
So I just have what we call a la carte pricing that goes along with the package pricing.
Good. Well, it seems like you could be one of our strategic partners here on the show.
Absolutely.
Because there are people calling in from time to they ask me to do that, and I really don't want to do it because it's a lot of work. And, I give them my price, but my price is probably sometimes out of their budget. So we'd like to call on you so you could probably take care of that for them. So that's a good thing.
Now, how do you, I saw on some of the interview topics that you have, helping a business go from, say, a mom and pop status where most of them kind of stay for 30, 40 years. How do you help them start to grow and upscale and get to that next level? Or what is some of your suggestions?
There's a lot of different suggestions, but as you and I know, or what we probably do know, in order to grow as a business owner, you have to get out of that single mentality, that solo mentality. You really have to start bringing on team members. You have to start hiring. Otherwise, you're wearing multiple hats and you're really not growing. So I really kind of start from that level. I don't go with the contracts and things of that. I get them into the mentality of, we need to grow this business. We need to bring on additional heads so that we can start growing and expanding. And just myself, even when I started growing, I had to bring on a PR person. I had to bring on a IT guy. I had to bring on someone to take over the administrative stuff, an HR person. So you have to, because you can't wear all these hats. And that's how you're going to really start growing. There's other things or components that need to be in place, but that's just one of the components where I start them.
Okay. Yeah, because and now, have you found that to be a little difficult for them to release and relinquish?
It definitely is. Yes, it's called control.
Right, exactly.
I'm not good at marketing, but I want to be the marketer.
Right, exactly. I have to know how everything is going on. Right.
I don't do books very well, but I want to be in charge of my books.
Well, and that's where a lot of them get in trouble.
Yes.
And that's usually the area that lacks.
Exactly.
You know, they'll do the marketing, they'll do the advertising, they'll do the sales, they'll do everything else. But when it comes to managing the finances, they have no idea where they stand.
That's a vital sign of the business, right?
Unless it's like, I need to get a loan. They need a P&L.
Yeah.
They need a balance sheet. They need a statement of cash flow.
Or I need to do my certification.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they ask you, what's a P&L?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but you've been see those, and for me, the two things that go hand in hand to me is the marketing part of the business, because that goes hand in hand with the financial part of the business, right? Because if you don't have a marketing budget, how are you going to drive the money into your business? Because people have to be able to purchase your product.
Gotta know your numbers,
and there is no balance between the two.
Yeah.
No. And you said got to know your numbers. And one thing that I always say, the numbers don't lie.
That's right.
The numbers don't lie.
That's right.
That's why I'm in that. That's why I'm in the accounting business. Because the numbers don't lie. Makes so much sense. So when you go when you're going to a client and you've gotten them on track, so then what's the next step after that?
Once we've gotten them on track, let me just say this. I'm really deep into the operational budget. So that's me. I stick with the operational budgets and make sure that we're tracking our actuals versus our projected. And we're going through that. If they are not where they want to be sales wise, we're looking at numbers. We're looking at margins. We're looking at, is your pricing correct? And then that's the next step that I take them through.
Okay.
Pricing, looking at pricing, adjusting it up, increasing it, sending out notice to customers, growing. So
startups, or you're more interested in businesses that are growth?
More growth.
Okay.
More growth.
After 3 years?
Yes.
That's my sweet spot too.
And, after 3 years, but there are some that are beyond the 3-year mark, but they're just really flat. They're flat.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of businesses right here in Los Angeles, and when they were doing the Crenshaw line, these businesses have been around for 20, 30 years, and they're actually pretty much in the same spot they were in 30 years ago, which is amazing that you've been in business that long. One, you're still behind the counter. You can't leave your business because there's no one that you feel that you can trust after 30 years of business to go and drive business, to go out and bring in new business and leave the mundane workings to a staff.
Right, but that goes back to what I was just saying, growing a business and bringing in additional heads to help you grow the business. If you expect to go from 100,000 to 500,000, you can't do that by yourself. You have to have
bring in that resource,
the individuals in there to get you there.
And
you have to you have to release the control.
Mm-hmm. You have to release the control so that you can. But I've found I do a lot of business. Mine is kind of startups because I start with them writing their business plan, and now I've been talking to them, going, okay, we're not talking a small business. We're talking big business. So here's the steps. We start here, but as we're growing and writing our business plan, we're looking to be an expansive business. We're looking at $500,000 to $1 million and $1 million to $2 or $3 million. Right. We're not looking at $50,000, $60,000, $125,000. You can do that working for somebody.
Right. So
if you're good at what you do.
With $50,000, you can't really hire anyone.
You can't do anything. That's your salary.
You can't hire anyone.
It is. That's your best salary.
So you got to grow it beyond 100,000 before you start thinking about hiring folks. And the thing is, small businesses, they're very good at their craft. Very, very good at their craft.
Exactly.
But when it comes to managing the business, that's where we come in.
But that's where they have others to, right. They need to start hiring consultants and start hiring other individuals. It's going to get them to that next level.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you found, and I saw, I looked at some of your videos, so that we have, African Americans, we have a hard time talking about money. I'm on a spiritual call every morning, and about 2 weeks ago, we on the show, what we do on the call, what we do is we might have Reverend Ike, and so Reverend Ike didn't have a problem talking about money. So we had aired a video, audio of Reverend Ike talking about money, and we were on the phone for 3 hours for this call. And it's so interesting how half the people were like, "Yeah, I want to make more money," and then I was like, "No, I can't say I want to make more money. No, I want to make more money. No, I can't say I want more money." I'm like, what the heck? But we have a hard time with the whole money thing.
We do. It's from our upbringing.
Yeah,
it is from our upbringing, and part of it is biblical as well. But once we decide that we want to open up and truly make that change with our money situation, then we'll open up. But I find that it's women who will open up about the money. Men, it's the ego thing. They will, the pride. They will not lay it on the table.
I've got this taken care of. I don't need to talk about it.
Yeah. When I say bring the husband and wife, my husband doesn't want to come.
Oh, yeah.
Why? He said for me to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But how can you counsel a couple as it relates to money, but only one is showing up?
Right, and it's both of them. Both of them, and we have that problem as well with succession and legacies, because we don't want to sit down and have a conversation on, okay, what does this mean if you have established business owners, and churches are good for this, and especially little small churches that the pastors. I have a client that we had that conversation, and he's in his 70s, late 70s. So I kind of asked him, so what's the succession plan here? And they're like, well. And they own the building, the church that they're in, and they happen to be in Inglewood. So the building next to them just went for a very large price point. And so I said, so you're sitting on a very lucrative piece of parcel of land. You don't have any other elders or anybody that's getting ready to sit in for you. So what's the plan here? I mean, because you're not to say that you're going anywhere anytime soon, but you need to have a plan. And so I suggested an estate planner that is part of our Recycling Black Dollars. And so she said, "Yeah, I guess we do need to have a conversation." I said, "Yeah, because you can't wait for it to happen. You got to have a choice."
No way. Not in the business, in the family. The whole thing, you need to have that succession plan in place. It needs to be documented. Someone needs to be able to put their finger on it and say, this is what mom left, this is what dad left, this is what the president left. Here it is, here are your instructions, bam, bam, bam.
Right, because I mean, look at Norman Limousine. I think he died without a will. So that was a very lucrative business. You put all your hard work into these businesses, your blood, sweat, and you don't leave a succession. There's no wills, there's no
But let's talk about that for a second, because in our community, what do we typically hear? Oh, I don't need that. It's just like a life insurance policy. Oh, I don't have anything to leave. I don't want to pay the premium.
All right.
That's too high. So it's our communities. But when we think about the other communities, they have those life insurance policies. When they pass away,
they
guess
pass on
what?
the wealth.
It's the legacy.
Yeah,
It's the
that's
legacy.
right.
You passed it on. And crowdfunding is not a burial plan.
And the thing about it also, not only is a succession plan for you passing on, but you also need to have a succession plan just in case the big competitor decide to want to sit at the table with you. They want to purchase your business or they want to partner with you.
Right.
So you got to be ready.
Right.
You got to be ready.
Exactly.
So are you preparing when your clients?
That's part of our, I do a financial fitness boot camp.
Okay.
That's part of the financial fitness boot camp to
That's
go over
good.
the life, the wills, the trusts, and a succession plan, basically.
Okay. And how often do you do those? And do you have one coming
quarterly.
up?
They're quarterly.
Quarterly?
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. And how do we find that information out?
Actually, that's on the website, myfinancialhome.com.
Okay.
And once you're there, just click on the site. I think it says personal finances, but it's there, financial fitness
Could
boot
you
camp.
say it again, the website?
Yes, www.myfinancialhome.com.
Excellent. Excellent. And what's the name of your business?
The name of my business is My Financial Home.
Oh, there you
And
go.
under My Financial Home, there's two subsidiaries. There's the White Tax Services as well as the Small Business Development side. So
That's good.
It all started with the taxes.
Excellent. Now, who are some of the resource centers or facilities that you team up with? Like Vermont Slauson, Valley Economic Development Center, the SBA?
Let's say this. SBA is one of them. I am a trainer with SBA, and that's probably the only one. I'm actually not in this county.
Oh, okay. What county are you in?
Ventura County.
That's fine. That's fine. I teach classes up there for the Elite Veterans Association up there in Ventura County. So
Out in Ventura itself? Okay.
yeah.
Ah,
So that's pretty good. So and you guys have a lot of entrepreneurs there as well as veterans.
We do.
Yes.
We do. And the military as well.
Yes, yes. So that's a good demographic for you. And I find that a lot of the veterans and the military entrepreneurs, they're very good customers.
Very good. Very
Yes.
good. Very
Yes.
good. I have a lot of tax clients that are military.
Yes.
Not so many VA vets, but definitely the military.
Good, good, good. Now, what are some of the challenges that you face within trying to work with small businesses or just your business within itself?
It goes back to finances again. I think as a small business owner, lack of resources. They have lack of resources and they don't want to invest. They really don't want to invest in growing the business the way that they should. They want to be a business owner.
Right.
I think that's number one.
But they don't want to spend.
Right. The resources. What would you say?
Well, that is true too, and the lack of knowledge is a big part of it because they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
Then they approach this with a bootstrapped approach.
Yeah.
And most of the times it's because even my program here, Small Biz Pro, is a program that helps these businesses to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. And how does it do that? It helps them to upload and store their documents in here so they can access these documents from anywhere in the world using their smartphone, their tablet, their laptop. So if you need a business plan, you need an insurance document, you need your financials, your tax return, whatever you need, it's right there.
Got it. Okay.
So these are things they don't think about, and they're going, well, I'm going to have to invest. I can get this cheap or free online somewhere else, but it doesn't do the same thing.
Right. Resources and tools.
Yeah, so those are probably some of the challenges.
That would be, I think we probably all have the same challenges with our clients and with our population that we serve.
Yeah.
It's that education.
Right.
And then that's the importance of shows like ours, and it's just constantly repetitively letting them know that those resources are there, and it's better to plan than to be proactive than to be reactive to what's going on in your business.
Right.
And then we have to think bigger. When you think from a Recycle Black Dollars standpoint, we got to think about how are we going to change our current status, and the only way we can change where we sit on the totem pole here is to change our economic development within our own community and our mindset and how we deal with the everyday taking care of our families, taking care of our businesses, taking care of our communities, because it has to be a holistic approach.
Yeah.
So question for you all, as a leader, as a business owner, you just said most small business owners are not proactive. And I see that quite often, especially during this time of the year where it's after the fact. Clients are coming to me saying, can you help me determine what I need to get you to write off on my tax return? I've been in business for the last 7 months, but I don't have my books together to hand over to you. And it's, as a business owner in this crunch period, is very frustrating, and you probably can identify with me. You're trying to be patient to set aside some time during your crunch period to say, this is what we need to do. How do you?
Well, for me, for mine, I'm a browbeater myself. So my clients know that, hey, I'm not going to be.
She whips them into shape.
I whip mine into shape because, for early part of my career, it was that, trying to play catch up. You guys are just wearing me out here. So for me, if I've already dealt with that the first year, so now here's the deal. You have to take you on as a client. So every month we are taking care of your financial needs. I don't have to come into your office. I can come in the month after and reconcile everything, but we know, and then I give you your P&Ls and we do a comparison. I have one client when we talk about veterans, and she's a young lady, and she has a social media business, and she's been my client for the last 4 years. Because we maintain her accounting and her books every month, she has consistently grown 15 to 25. And this year, she actually made almost a 30% increase in her revenue from the 4 years ago when I first, and we planned it out when she hired her first employees and put her on payroll, and she's paying her taxes, and she even does her quarterlies. And so this year, she told me, and at the end of the year, we do a whole review of everything that took place. And every month or every 2 months, we sit back and we go over where she is. I can always tell when something's going on. And I have not physically seen her in 4 years. I sat down with her in the very beginning. We do everything by phone. I put everything. We put it up in a Google Drive, and that's how we do business. I have not seen her other than Facebook, and she's seen me on Facebook. That's the only time we've seen each other. And I've watched her business, and when something's going on, I was like, "What went on last month or 2 months ago?" She goes, You could see that? Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. She goes, yeah, I had to let someone go, and so then her business dropped a little bit. We can analyze it, so she has a better idea. So this year, I had told her she had to do the quarterlies a couple years ago. And so she did that, and she goes, oh my God, I only had to pay $400 in taxes.
Right.
So she saw, and so now I said, so now where are we going next? I said, what is the plan? This business is sustainable and it's consistent. So now we are ready to take you to the next level. So we're going to get her into the contracting component of it because she's ready for that, and she wants to be a speaker, and she's do more training and that kind of stuff. And it's because everything is working. Right. So that's the outcome of a pre-plan and being proactive. But I don't Yeah,
and what I tell my clients, it's not about looking through the rearview mirror. It's about looking through the windshield. Yeah. We need to look forward. We need to forecast. We need to determine what's going on ahead of us. The past is the past. Yes, we can use it as a measurement to forecast and predict, but we need to look forward.
And so it starts to stick. I have a client that came to me, and he's one that flies by the seat of his pants, but he's getting ready to start a manufacturing business on men's lingerie line. And so he's been a little hustler. So he came, he said, Crystal, I'm doing it different this time. Can you help me write a business plan? I've had many businesses and I've never had a plan. So can we sit down and talk about what that looks like and put together a plan? Because I want this to be the legacy for my kids. So, and he's been an entrepreneur all his life, but everything has always been done by the seat of his pants. But he's ready to sit down and he wants to do it differently.
Okay. Good.
Well, let's go ahead and take a break right now. We're at the top of the hour. You're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert, and when we come back, we're gonna wrap up with Dr. White, and then we can introduce our next guest. So let's take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
In the United States, March is Women's History Month. It honors women's contributions in all areas of life, as scientists, inventors, artists, politicians, and more. The celebration began in 1978, when the school district of Sonoma, California, hosted a week-long recognition of women's accomplishments throughout history. The idea spread, and in 1980, President Jimmy Carter proclaimed the week of March 8th National Women's History Week. 6 years later, an organization called the National Women's History Project convinced Congress to dedicate the entire month of March to women's history. Each year, a special focus for the month is declared by the National Women's History Project. For example, important artists like photographer Dorothea Lange and painter Mary Cassatt have been celebrated. Pioneers such as educator Mary McLeod Bethune, Clara Barton, who founded the Red Cross, Amelia Earhart in aviation, and First Lady Michelle Obama have also been honored. Women's History Month celebrates unsung heroes too. The countless women who helped when our country was at war, women who run businesses and volunteer in their communities, single mothers who work and raise families, and the unknown writers and artists in history whose works were never made public, yet teach historians much about our country's past. Which women in your life would you like to celebrate?
For lesson plans, digital resources, and more teaching.
And we are back. You are tuned into the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. And our wonderful guest, Dr. White, she's been sharing all the wisdom, and we have some synergy because, you know, the base of who I am is an accountant, and she as well. And so we've been talking about what it takes for our businesses to change their mindset on how they manage their money, how they grow their businesses, how they pre-plan and become more proactive in the growth of themselves and their businesses.
So, Dr. White, we were talking earlier about many of these small businesses that you work with. So, you work primarily with startups?
Startups as well as businesses that are, 3 years and above.
Okay, good. Now, how do you get your customers? How do you market to them? How do they know about you?
That's interesting. Most of my clients are referred to me.
Really?
That's the vast majority of how my clients come to me.
That's the best
way. That is great.
Vast majority. Yeah. I don't do a lot of marketing now. On the coaching side, Of course, I do that on social media, but the business to business, they're all through referrals.
That's good.
All of them.
I think our business, the accounting, is easier for that to be the case. Because when I started my business 29 years ago, it was all word of mouth. You know, I've partnered up with tax people, preparers, and they're not going to do the back stuff. And so as soon as somebody come in with the box of receipts, they're like, oh, no, you need to go call Crystal. And that's kind of how. And so after the recession, I had no clients because my marketplace was mortgage bankers, real estate people, and churches. And they all got hit hard.
Right.
And so I had to go market. I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do here? Because I had not done that in like so long. And now it's back there. I'm back at referral-based business, and which is great. So the more you market yourself, and it's really just being out there, just being who you are, and doing a good job at what you do. And then people will refer you.
Right, that customer service, that loyalty, and that trust. We're in an industry where trust is vital. So, and that's, I think, one of the main factors why I have the referrals through my current and existing clients that do the, it's the trust.
Yeah, it's a trust.
And the service.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, service. And I tend to embrace it. In fact, I have to sometimes set boundaries because they'll call me anytime, day, night. Weekend, Sunday, like, what, people? After 5, I'm done.
Yes, boundaries are important.
Boundaries are important, but because of the type of business I do, they feel like, oh, I can call her anytime. I'll call her in the middle of the night. No, you cannot call me in the middle of the night.
Well, believe it or not, I do have a policy, and that's I don't do business on the cell phone.
Oh,
I really don't do business. I do not text my clients. You can email me, or you have to call me on the landline, the business landline, but I don't do business on the cell phone. I believe that when I'm out and about with family, it should be our time, not interrupted.
Very good. That's excellent.
We all should have policies. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do for you, Dr. White, I think this will complement your business a lot, and I'm also going to do it for our next guest as well. I'm going to give you, on behalf of the Business Zone, I'm going to give you subscription to Small Biz Pro, so you can use that within your business and also with your clients. So I want you to use it yourself first and see how well it is for your business, and then I'd like you to refer it to your businesses because it's going to make your life so much easier. What Small Biz Pro is, it's they call it a document repository, where you can upload your documents and you can access it from anywhere in the world. And also what you do with the system, you can do bid and procurement search. So you can look for bid opportunities. And you can also conduct market research on there.
I love it.
So if, let's say a business doesn't know what a cash flow management is, they go to the business dictionary and they type cash flow management and it tells them.
I love it.
They don't know what a business plan is, it tells you. You don't know what a financial statement, all of those things. So this is going to help you and your clients a lot. So on behalf of the Business Zone, we will donate that to you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And it'd be good for your clients because of the fact that, the P&Ls and you don't have to in the tax returns, so they don't have to go look in that box.
Just store it in one location.
And they can upload the document to their system, give you access, and you can go in and just download those documents you need for yourself.
Perfect.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
Those tax returns for 3 years and the financial, the balance sheet, the profit and loss.
Right. Got it. Okay.
Yes. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get ready to move into our next guest on the show.
Guest. She's also a rock star. She has been a member and part of Recycling Black Dollars for a very long time, since Muhammad founded the organization, and Norma has been in our community for over 30 years just doing the things that she does. And she's all about authenticity and being in how you speak and how you deliver your message and your business services to your customers. Norma teaches self-awareness by helping you know yourself on a deeper, authentic level. She takes you on a journey inside of yourself to find, live, and share your authentic voice, essence of who you are after studying human nature from personal, professional, and spiritual perspectives over the last 30 years. Norma has created a system that introduces you to the 9 dimensions of authenticity and helps you uncover minor tweaks that you can make it massively impact your future. She's the former owner of a speaker's bureau, author of several books, including 10 Steps to Authenticity, The Process to Become a Professional Speaker, and The Authentic Healthcare Leadership, a practical handbook, which will be released in 2018. So she's an author, she's a consultant, she's a trainer, she's a speaker, she's a coach, she's a mentor.
And she's a mother.
And yes. And so she is here to speak on your authentic voice and we are so pleased to have you here.
Well, Crystal, it's a delight to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome
Ed Gilbert, yes, thank you.
Yeah, now you've been out here doing your thing for a very long time.
I've been doing my thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, I have been. Yes,
so tell us about it more than what's on that piece of paper, because you're such a lively person. And every time I see Norma, no matter what event I go to, she's in her orange. So it's such a brilliant, vibrant color for her.
That's our branding.
That's our branding.
It is my branding, and it works. I get clients because I wear orange sometimes. It's just amazing how that happens.
Yeah. When you first walk in, and I, my thing when I do the networking thing, I come in and I go, who do I know?
Who's in the room? You got to know who's in the room.
I can be in the airport in other cities, and people will come to me. You're the lady in orange that's speaking.
Right, exactly.
The authenticity lady.
Yeah, so that helps. You got to have your brand, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So tell us more. How, because I don't know if I've ever heard the story. Yes, I did hear the story of how you became a speaker or got into this industry.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple sides to me, of course. So the speaking is what I did. The authenticity kind of is who I am. And that's the foundation of everything that I did. The authenticity part started when I was 28 and realized I was miserable after doing everything my parents had said do. Parents guide us in a certain way, and we believe them because what else do we know, right? Mm-hmm. So I had the husband and the car and the house and the job and all the wonderful things that they say are good, and I was miserable. And I didn't know what to do next. Because I didn't know who I was, because I was being who my parents said I should be.
Okay.
And they were very traditional, and there's not much traditional about me. So they didn't understand. They still don't, So I went on a quest to understand who I am. And that's how I came to authenticity. It really took me on a 30-year journey of going deep into myself and understanding myself from the different energies. I could feel the energies in me. We all have different energies within us. Sometimes we're quiet, sometimes we're lively, and they kind of work together frequently. Hopefully they work together.
Right, exactly.
So I was able to separate them and put them on a grid to understand them. And then what I did was I attached the name of an animal to each different energy. So I kind of knew who I was. And I hooked a rug and put it on my wall, like, okay, who am I this morning? Who am I today?
Okay.
I have a friend sometimes that always asks me, so who are you today? And I think we all have those multiple personalities or multiple sides of ourselves, that we show. And then after having my bureau for multiple years, and I was writing about all this authenticity, I went around the country to 20 cities in 18 months and delivered this program I had now developed on these 9 dimensions of authenticity, and found that everybody I was meeting had the same 9 dimensions. And they recognized themselves, and they were just lapping up the information about self-understanding and self-knowledge. And that just started me on a movement, if you will, of authenticity and helping people become more authentic.
So what are the 9 dimensions of authenticity?
Thank you for asking. Well, let me break it down to first the 3 voices that we all have. So we all have 3 voices. First is our inner voice, which of course is the spiritual voice that speaks within, that no one hears but us. And sometimes we don't even acknowledge that it exists, but we all have that voice. And then the second voice is the outer voice. That's who we are perceived to be. So when you walk into a room, everyone makes an assessment of who you are. So you walk in and see me in orange. So you make an assessment maybe of my mood or how I'm doing today. You have no idea what's going on inside. And that's with everybody. We make an assessment immediately. That's our outer voice. And then our expressive voice is who we have become. So how we put together our education, our background, our learning, our inner and outer voice, and what we're doing with it. Right. And so each of those voices have 3 dimensions, which has become to 9 dimensions. So going back to the inner voice, the inner voice is, again, the voice no one hears but us, and there's 3 dimensions there. First, it's our intuition, so how we listen to the voice. And I love being in environments where I ask people, well, who's intuitive in the room? And a few raise their hand. And I say, well, I know you're all intuitive, and I know that because each of you came today with clothes on.
That's right.
Because at some point you asked yourself, what am I going to wear today?
Right, exactly.
And you didn't say it out loud. You said it generally. Well, some people always say it out loud.
Right.
They always say. But generally you say it inside, and you get an answer.
Right.
And same thing when you say, I'm hungry, what am I going to eat?
Yeah.
So I have clients look at how the answer comes to them. Does it come as a thought, as a feeling, as a memory, as something in your gut? And that's a clue to how your voice speaks.
Right.
And then next is integrity. And integrity is your value system and what you believe in and how much you believe what you believe. And actually, when you think about values, the friends you have in life are people generally whose values are aligned with yours. And people you have fallen out with, spouses, relationships, whatever, it's because your values weren't together.
Right, exactly.
So that's how important integrity is and your values are and how much you stick with them. And generally, people that are not happy in relationships, when you break it down, is because their values are not aligned. And when you're trying to live on someone, like I tried to live on my parents' values at 28, it wasn't working.
Right, because those are their values.
They were their values. And I had to then grow up to be older to really understand and identify what my true values were.
Right, exactly.
And then the third part of your inner voice is inspiration, whether you are inspired to do something versus motivation. Motivation comes from the outside in.
Okay.
Inspiration comes from inside out. And you really can't do anything. You can't go change those books until you're inspired to do it. You can motivate and browbeat and all.
That's
but
true.
They have to have something to happen to have an inspirational movement that's going to help them to make that change.
Yes, exactly.
And generally, the way the inner voice works is that the idea comes into your intuition. You judge it from your integrity. And if you're so inspired, you act on it. You may or may not. Okay, so that's kind of how that works.
Oh, okay.
You know, I really like that concept. Is that a concept that you developed yourself?
Yes, it is. Yes,
that is phenomenal. Because I'm thinking about it. It is so easy and so simple that we may think about it, but not in that way.
Right.
Because you think about the 3 aspects, and then you go to one, and you have a 3-dimension.
Right.
That is
break it down.
That's amazing.
And you tie that together, and then now you better understand yourself.
Yes.
You better understand how you interact with the world and how you interact with your clients,
and you become more authentic.
And you become more authentic. There you go.
I'm feeling pretty authentic.
Now that you didn't understand the dimensions, right?
This is amazing. Now let's hear the other dimension.
So we'll go to the outer voice.
Okay. Yes.
And the outer voice, again, is how you're perceived by others when you walk in a room. And the first dimension of your outer voice is net wellness, your health. So you walk in a room, people get an immediate impression. Are you healthy? Are you not? Are you vibrant? Are you not? Are you overweight? What color are you? I mean, all these things are a piece of your net wellness. And each of these in outer voice have the word net in front of it because it's the sum total of all those things.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then the next one is network. And network is actually the middle of this grid. And so everything in life relates to other people. And network has to do with your network. And we talk about your quality and quantity relationships. Quality meaning people who know you well, get along well, will be honest with you. They even know how you smell and you're okay with them, right?
Exactly.
And then the quantity are those who you may not know so well, but you need quantity. Like you and I are quantity relationships. We're not quality yet. We very well may be down the road.
Right.
But because of that, I'm able to be here.
Right, exactly.
And because of that, we're able to talk about things. And as I get to meet you, you guys become quantity relationships. I may see you again. We may do business. We may just say hi, whatever. But we need both in life because you need the quality so you can stay authentic. People who will be honest with you. And you need the quantity so you can grow.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know who to grow with. Right.
That's good.
And then there's the net wealth. And of course, when you hear net wealth, people think money.
Yeah.
But when we talk about net wealth with authenticity, it's about abundance. What really brings you joy in life.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Because people can have money and be miserable.
Oh, there are a lot of folks out there that are absolutely miserable.
And people can be broke and be just as joyful as possible.
Exactly.
My mom is. She is. She's the happiest person I know.
Because for them, monetary is not what brings them joy. It's what their families, their friends, their life, their
Exactly. That's the abundance.
That's the abundance.
And when you think about the three dimensions of outer voice, those are the three dimensions that the world says are important. How your health is, the people you're around, and the wealth that you do or do not have. When I started in the speaking industry, people told me, well, Norma, if you don't talk about wealth or money, wealth, that people or relationships or health, you're not going to make any money. But there's so much more to who we are.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just those three. But those are the three that society seems to focus on and say what's important. And that's clearly what you perceive, but it has nothing to do with who you are. It's the least to do with really who you are.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, because integrity doesn't necessarily always come with the fact that you have money.
That's right. That's for sure.
Right? We see that right now, right? And also, your being authentic doesn't come with you having money. No, actually, you probably have a different facade that you're showing because of that.
Right. And it makes you very inauthentic.
It makes it very inauthentic, yes.
And people whose inner voice and outer voice give different messages are not aligned. And we meet them all. You might meet someone and say, there's something not right about that person. I can't put my finger on it. And oftentimes it's because they're saying one thing, but they're appearing to be something else.
Exactly.
And it comes across in the white when you begin to talk to them and see them more.
Yeah.
But truly, true authenticity starts with the inner voice. It's strengthened when the inner and outer voices get the same message, but it's really strong when the expressive voice also does the same thing.
Oh, wow.
So the expressive voice, again, is who you have become in the world. And so the dimensions begin with legacy. And I heard you mention legacy earlier. But from an authenticity perspective, legacy is the gifts you were born with. So what legacy were you given at the time you came to the planet? What are your gifts and talents, and how are you using them? Do you know what they are? Do you use them? What I say to people is that if you are working in a job or have a business that allows your legacy, your gifts and talents to flourish, man, you're happy. You're a very fortunate person. Because most people select based on what money they think they're going to make.
Right, exactly.
But whether a job or a business, rather than what am I really good at? What do I love to do? And what do I really want to do? And if you're not doing those things in a business, then hopefully you're doing them in some kind of creative activity or recreational activity after work. Because if you're just ignoring that, then chances are you're stressed, you're not happy, you're moving towards cancer and other issues that are going to not be healthy for you. So it's really important to know your gifts and talents and live within them.
Yeah, I think that's, I do what I do, he does what he does, and we enjoy what we're doing, so it's not like work. And I get that feeling from you as well. You're enjoying what you do, and I've always got that feeling from you that you are definitely at peace with who you are and what you do. But I know this is what God put me on this planet to do. And we just keep adding to it. Even when we started the show, it's like, oh, whoa, I kind of like this. This fits my personality.
But things like that show through your essence, through your outer voice, because just looking at you, your skin, your glow, all those things that are a part of you, it shines. Because when you're truly in your authentic self, you can't, there's no denying it. You are who you are, and people know, and they gravitate. So yes, I think you were saying that too.
The system that you developed to help people get
Let me finish the last two.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
So we don't forget. Some people might be listening and wondering, what's the other two?
I'm sorry. You're right.
There you go.
So the next one with the expressive voice is likability, which is your personality.
Okay.
And recognizing that we all have different ways to say the same thing. So I might have a message to say, and I may say it one way to Cozette, another way to you, Gilbert, another way to you. Because you're a man, because you're money, and because you're a friend. So I might have a different angle. And I might say it different to a lover, to a child, to a parent.
Exactly.
So recognizing that, you always want to find the best part of yourself and allow that to shine. Because people attract, that's a law of attraction working. You want to attract to you those things that bring out the best side of you. And they even say about money that money comes to you more when you're showing your best personality.
No, for sure.
So that's just all aligned with that. And then the final one is lifestyle, which is your day-to-day habits and what you do day to day. And how you drive home, your attitude, whether you push the snooze button in the morning, just these things. And you're okay. Hit a nail there.
Yeah.
These things are all representative of how we live our life and how authentic we're being. And what I share with people is that once you understand the 9 dimensions, I have an assessment that goes with that people can take online, which I'll give you the address later. But then when you find where your lowest areas are, your lowest dimension, your most challenging dimension, what we suggest is just tweak one thing in one dimension.
Okay.
So don't try to change your whole self. No matter what it is you may want to modify about yourself, just find one thing to tweak, and that's going to enable you to make massive change, because one small thing can make major change.
Oh, yes.
And that can make a change in your attitude and how you do, in your success, in your finances, in your business, in your personal life, whatever. So just find that one thing. Don't be overwhelmed with, this is not right, that's not right. And then when people take my assessment, they find that their scores may change from day to day, even from hour to hour. Because our view of ourselves changes based on what's happening.
Yeah.
Wow, exactly. Because there are a lot of people that are not living as they're often. I mean, you see it every day. You interact with people within your own family. So what is this system that you have developed?
I call it the Authentic Voice System.
Okay.
And it is based on those 9 dimensions of authenticity.
Okay.
The assessment can be found at authenticityassessment.com.
Okay.
But because people can't usually spell or even say authenticity.
So true.
Me included sometimes. I guide them to BeRealTest.com.
Oh, BeReal.
BeRealTest.com.
Okay.
And it's a complimentary assessment. And when they finish the assessment, by next week we're putting up some new things. It'll take them to making a decision in terms of how I use authenticity. So they can apply it to either personal development, which has a lot to do with leadership, which is how I use it and speak about, or they can apply it to being a professional speaker, an authentic speaker, or to raising authentic children, which goes back to my first career. So those are the 3 areas that we've broken out to online programs that will allow them to take authenticity and go to the next level with it.
Okay. And so, we're all the money people, but you're really the core, because I think some of the change that I know the change that has to take place within our community has to be that mindset.
Yes.
We have to break those chains and recognize who we really, really are, and be proud of who we are.
Proud of it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a lot of work now with authentic leadership.
Okay.
So I'm talking to organizations, giving them the assessment, and then doing the interpretation so they know how to assess themselves and their teams.
Okay.
Because when you look, the leadership part is very critical. There's a lot of research by the Harvard people that talk about that transformation is needed in corporate America.
Okay.
And transformation comes from authentic leadership. And the first clue to authentic leadership is self-awareness. So that's what I break down to them and help them look at the change from the industrial age to the current age in terms of how we're doing business and leadership, and the different styles that are needed and what the millennials are needing. And all of that has to do with authenticity and helping them understand that.
Oh, okay. And with our millennials, they're on a whole different kind of wavelength.
Well, when you think about millennials, they were born when they were born, computers were already here.
Right, exactly.
And those of us who are older are still impacted by the industrial age. The industrial age leadership was very much a hierarchical leadership down, management down style. And it was all about not so much who you are as a person, but how fast can you do this job.
Right.
And can you do it faster, we can make more money.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And now we're in the information age, which is all about critical thinking. So how can you go find the answer and apply the answer? That's what's important now. And where we're going and where millennials really are now is all about your gifts and talents. How can I bring who I am to the workplace? Industrial, they didn't care who you were. Just how fast can you screw something?
Right, exactly.
So a lot of leaders, a lot of organizations now are still thinking in the standpoint of how fast can you do this? Versus, well, who really are you? And how does that align with what we're doing? And how can I put you in a place in this organization where your natural gifts and talents, where you're going to be happy and we're going to be happy? Because when a happy employee is a family who's going to be there. They're loyal to you. They're going to stay.
Right, exactly.
And they're going to be more productive. So it's a whole change in how the whole environment is going. And that's what I help people to see and make the transition to.
And actually, the assessment will also help because there's so many different generations within the organizations these days, from the millennials all the way over here. So it's going to help. How do you talk? How do you handle? How do you, a lot of how-tos, situationals.
Right. And the millennials, too, they're also, if you know about Maslow's theory, which talks about what's a pyramid, and they talk about what we want first is shelter and security, and the pyramid goes to the top where it says self-actualization.
Right.
Well, the millennials have flipped that. They want self-actualization first.
Yes.
And they feel the security is going to come. They're not even worried about that. But they want to do and be and use their gifts and talents to make a difference in the world. And they are. And they like the different projects. They don't stay 30 years anywhere.
No.
They go. They may have 30 projects they're working on. 30 different employees. Right. So once the industrial age, old time thinking transitions to understand these younger people, project-oriented self-actualization, that's when we'll have corporations that are really making a difference and impacting the world.
Wow. Yeah, and that's kind of what we're doing when we're teaching. I do a summer camp, a biz camp, where I teach children how to become entrepreneurs, and that's incorporated in the curriculum is, being happy and being passionate about the businesses that we're developing and creating, and that it represents your personality, but at the same time can be socially, can create an impact to help your fellow community and your fellow people at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really emphasize, too, with businesses, there's so much emphasis on the different programs that develop businesses. And there's so much emphasis on the numbers, which of course are important, and all the other aspects that are part of certification, et cetera. But in reality, no business succeeds if the leader doesn't have his act together.
If the leader, you're so true.
And they don't do much training on that.
No,
and that's really
very
where
important.
the need is. Because if that mindset, if the objectives, if the goals, if it's not all aligned properly, they're not going to be able to fulfill the requirements that are needed. And if they're not, sometimes you can be a business in the wrong business. So like when I had my bureau, I was in the right industry, but the wrong business in the industry. Because I'm not a marketer. I didn't understand the marketing. I'm a trainer, and I'm an innovator. And so now that I've made that transition, right industry, wrong business originally, it makes a big difference. So I wouldn't have known that if I had to learn that the hard way.
Right, exactly.
But it would have been great to have learned that in the beginning.
Yeah, knowing who you were, and that this is, because that's kind of a nuts and bolts. The marketing thing can be really a grind if you don't understand that it's a grind.
And exactly. And if you're not a grind type person.
Exactly. If that's not your person, you're more of an artistic, flowy kind of person. That part where you have to do that repetitive, you got to get the information out there. You got to be out there talking about your business. You got to be doing this and this and this and this. It's like, oh, Lord, where do I have time to be creative?
Exactly. And that's and then that's your default.
Right.
So you always go back to your kids, so everything else then it falls back. So you have to understand who you are, and part of this authenticity helps people know where they're vulnerable, where their gaps lie. Because when you know where your gaps lie, then you know who to hire to help fill your gaps. Otherwise, you're hiring people just like yourself. Okay, and you're right in the same situation. So it's a really critical part of being in business, of really knowing who you are and that leadership piece. Because without that, you're doomed almost for, not necessarily for failure, but for a really hard challenge.
I think we did a show on, it's called
E-Myth.
E-Myth, right? E-Myth, and he talks about the different types of people: the thinker, the doer, the pragmatic person, the entrepreneurial person with the spirit, and that is what makes a great company. But you got to know who you are and why you do what you do, and complement each other with that. My partners are kind of like that. I have a couple of partners, and I have a girlfriend that's very pragmatic. She's very analytical. I'm more of the marketing. Let me go out and create business and bring in the people, and she's more behind the scenes. And this is where I do my best work, right behind the scenes, and she pays attention to all the details, and I do too, but not from the accounting side, but not overall. Not like that. Because you get stuck in the details, right?
And some people are very good at that. And that's what they should do.
That's exactly what they should do.
And another thing that your system is good for, too, a lot of small businesses, they operate with their back against the wall. Like the sky's falling, so they got to make decisions. There's no planning. We call that organizational dry rot. because they didn't plan. There are two types of planning. You got organized plan and you got forced plan. Forced plan is when you didn't plan your financials, you didn't have any of that, and then now the tax man is coming, or you got to get a loan, and you're going, okay, your ratios are not there, none of those things, and then now you got to try to make it happen. But if they're using your system, they'll know, okay, there's these actualization that you got to put in place, and if that happens, you're ready to go.
You're ready to go.
So that's really good. I like that. Now, who are some of your clients that you reach out to, and where do you have your workshops?
I haven't done any personal workshops lately. I've been doing workshops more for organizations. I recently spoke with the Ventura County Management Council, with the fire marshals and all those people, and they just really ate it up.
How does that work? They ate it up?
They ate it up. Yeah, they had never had an opportunity to look at this in a different way, to look at leadership in a different way.
That's very unique.
It's very unique, right? So I give them the assessment and then show them the 16 ways that we look at the scores. Because people look at, what's my score?
Yeah.
And they see one, but when we have one of my coaches, I also train people to be coaches in my system. And there's 16 different ways we see scores. So it really helps them see their strengths, weaknesses, and it helps them look at their team members in a similar way. And I'm beginning to move into the healthcare industry. I spoke with the American College of Healthcare Administrators recently. And I have 3 nurses that I've certified to deliver my process. And so I'm writing a book about authentic leadership in the healthcare, a handbook for authentic leaders.
That's good.
Right. So we're looking to help more the healthcare industry understand more about leadership and the differences and the changes, and especially with the automation now being so relevant. And they're saying that in the future, oftentimes doctors won't even see patients. It'll be done mostly on an online basis. So changing the mindset to enable that to happen is really critical. So I'm more working with industries and looking at ways to make change. I'm expanding now that I have the personal development, the speaker development, and the child development as online training programs. Now I'm moving more for an authentic beauty aspect and how to really retain ageless beauty for a long time. And secondly, authentic marketing. I've just got certified in a program that helps me help businesses look at how they can add $10,000 to their bottom line. I can do a 45-minute interview and show them how. And I did that because I had to learn marketing. Because when I went into business, I mean, I came from a nonprofit. I directed his care program.
Well,
I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
If you're in a nonprofit, you know marketing is your number one thing because you got to go out.
It wasn't when Head Start. It wasn't because it was because we got grants. We had grants every year. You just rewrote the grant and you got it. As long as the grant was written under the guidelines, you got your money. And you didn't need to market because the kids knew what it was. And we were a delegate agency with a grantee that helped to bring the children in.
Well, see, when you're in certain nonprofits that you got to go out and get the grants and market, then that comes.
It's a different angle. But no, I didn't even have that. So I went. I'm very spirit directed, and Spirit said, "Well, go do this." Okay, sure. But like you can get your training first. That might make a little sense. That might help.
Well, I like your program because I have a program similar to that. It's not the same. Doesn't have the 9 dimensions and all of that. My program is called KYP, Knowing Your Personnel. And what we do is we put people in 4 categories. And we do the assessment, and it's amazing when people find out which one of those 4 they fall in.
Right.
And it helps in the workplace. It helps on contracts. It helps in the organization.
Right.
So it's an amazing thing. So after this, I'd love to sit with you, show you my KYP, how it works. I teach it for Edison. And when we do that, that takes about 45 minutes to an hour. And people walk out of there all excited.
They do.
I'm going to implement this at my job now,
Well, personal development, people love personal development. They just love it, right? And there's a lot of programs that have the 4. There's the colors that has the 4 colors. And there's another one we call team that has, I'd like to see the relationship between them. Because in reality, they say as humans, there's only so many parts of us. So, and the more ways we can understand ourselves, the deeper we can know who we are.
I've done the color one.
You've done the color one, right?
I've done the color one, and it was so accurate. There's another program out there called Bankers. I know
the Bankers one, yes.
And I did that. I was like, whoa. But the program itself, when you're sitting down with clients, it can really help you do the sell and close the deal when you know who you're dealing with and whether or not you're going to read. So, all of us actually would benefit from that. And just knowing who your clients are and who to spend all your time working on and who to walk away from.
That's important to know too.
Right, who to walk away from. Is good to be able to say no. As a client, as one of my colleagues says, you got to know when to say no.
I used to never know when to say no.
Oh, no.
And then lately I've been, I told you, right? Yeah. Lately I've been figuring out, you know what? you gotta say no.
You gotta say
because
no.
I take on all these projects and it's like, oh, then they start killing me.
Exactly.
Just say no.
Gotta say no.
I'm going to introduce you guys. Last year, I participated as a coach, as a speaker and coach for a new organization that's starting called the Bella Network. And a young lady who started, her name is Alicia White Matson, and she works in corporate America, but she realizes that we as women, sometimes our voices don't get to be heard, and that we needed to create a tribe of women that are there for each other to rise each other up. So we did a 3-day retreat conference, and she just did this amazing job. She brought in 20 coaches on a panel, and it was a 3-day retreat. We were down in Long Beach, and none of us knew each other. She knew some of us we were referred to, but when we came together, you would have thought we had known each other forever. And all 20 of us we were all coaches, but in different areas, and it was phenomenal. And we've developed some relationships out of that. Two of the ladies last week were on the show. And one's a life coach and one's an executive coach. And so we're focusing on those women that are starting their second act, coming out of corporate America. They're C-level, and now they're coming. And it's a different world. Entrepreneurship is a different world than the corporation when you have everything at your fingertip. And so our next conference is in October, but I definitely will introduce you guys to it.
So, I love synergy. How the universe works. Alicia and I emailed each other today.
That's why you did that look. Yeah, because Alicia, is she amazing?
I met her last Saturday. I was at the Salute to Black Women, MC that program. And I think she's on my email list. And she came to me, and today I just emailed her and said, I saw the website, I saw your picture and other people I knew. And I said, I definitely need to know her.
Yeah, so we have to introduce you as well. Absolutely. I mean, because it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, it looks like,
Yeah, and we were at a little boutique hotel down in Long Beach, and just the energy, all women, well, there's a few men that were there, but all energy and just the support. And she is just so passionate about this, and we were just like marveling at how do you bring 20 coaches together and nobody overlaps.
That's good. That's great.
And the egos didn't get in the way.
And no egos, none of that. And
that's kind of tough.
And she told us what we were speaking on. We didn't even come with what we usually speak on. Wow. She just asked for me. I was referred to her because of my networking, and that's one of the subjects and topics that I speak on. So mine was about networking, and then somewhere in between there, it switched. And so then she had me do a couple other things, but I had the skill sets to do it, and it just flowed. And everybody was like that. It was really amazing.
That's good planning right there.
So you will truly enjoy it, and so will you, Cozette. It's because, but then so her goal is to create this coaching network, and then we go out and we hit the areas of our expertise, but then build under one banner, so to speak.
That'd be great.
And then utilizing her, her corporate, because she's over at Northrop, and she's she's a chemist. I have met some of the most profound women. There was one lady that's a chemist, and she had 10 patents. I mean, she had 4 patents.
Really?
She had worked with Mattel. 4 patents. She had worked with Mattel. A lot of them had been in these C-suite executive positions. The only black woman. There was a young woman who was 30-something years old, was one of the speakers. She actually is the one of the VPs for Uber. But she had lived in Dubai and worked in Dubai with her and her husband. I mean, just phenomenal women that we met that were just awesome. Her cousin she's a director or a VP over at HP. So we were just the technology. Her sister travels all over the world doing the legal aspects of security of the internet. So just amazing women.
Wonderful,
For those of you who are listening to our show, this is a Business Zone, and you're on with Crystal and Gilbert, and we've got got two wonderful guests in the studio. Got Norma T. Hollis, and we've got Dr. Cozette White. And this is a phenomenal show. You guys are missing out. You got to call us so we can share with you.
And those are on Facebook Live. Marjorie and Alexander and Lloyd and Stacy and Russell. You guys can have caught the show at morrismedialive.com, but we will be uploading the show, and you can see all of these beautiful faces, all of our beautiful faces.
This is just phenomenal what we're learning here today.
Yeah, Norma has always been, every time I've gone to, and she's actually spoken at several workshops with RBD.
And speaking next 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. So the Recycling Black Dollars Breakfast Mixer, she's going to be one of the speakers there. And where do we find you guys' books? So you have a book here, and two books here, and you have a book over there. So
tell us a little about those books and where we can find them.
Well, the first book I wrote is The Process to Become a Professional Speaker.
So I'm going to be buying that one.
Okay, because this one is this one was written when I had my Speakers Bureau, and it's a how-to guide for new and emerging speakers to how to be a professional speaker.
Okay.
So it's a fill-in-the-blank type book, and it takes you from beginning to end to the whole process to become a professional speaker. And then this one is 10 Steps to Authenticity. This one was written after my 30 years of research. It's a summary of my research and a summary of those 9 dimensions of authenticity. And it includes the assessment in it.
Was that was that a part of your thesis?
Yeah, I didn't do a thesis so much, but it was a thesis because of what I wrote, and I'm still writing on it and still learning about it. Yes.
Very good.
But both books can be found on normaspeaks.com as well as some of my other products. Good. Actually, there's 9 workbooks with this, one for each of the dimensions that are I do a lot of fill-in-the-blank types because I believe in being reflective and learning more.
Good.
So if you feel that intuition is where you need more, where you're vulnerable, there's a workbook on that. If you feel that net wealth is where you're vulnerable, there's a workbook on that. Yeah. So all of that can be found on normaspeaks.com.
Well, go ahead, Crystal.
And you find out what you need to tweak by taking the assessment test,
right?
Right?
And whatever your lowest score is where you want to focus some attention. That's probably also the source of some of your stress. I use the same assessment to do a workshop called The Gift of Stress and How to Honor It, because generally, whatever those 9 dimensions you're lowest in is where you're having some challenge in life and where some stress exists. So if you look at that and begin to look at how to modify that, it's going to help. You know, the whole assessment, I'm very humbled by it because it's not. I didn't set up to say, well, I'm going to talk about authenticity. You know, it kind of it came through me.
Okay.
And then it took me another 8 years or so to understand what I had and how to use it. So it's really a phenomenal tool that was very spiritually inspired. And once you understand it, when I start doing my workshops again, I'll let you know, and you can let people know. And once people come and they take it and begin to understand, you have a personal coaching tools just by the grid that goes with this.
Right. So that first book you wrote, because you spoke with
speaking book.
No, not that one. Your first book on authenticity
was this one.
Was that one? Okay.
Right. This is the first. It's a summary of the whole program.
Oh, okay.
And then the other workbooks are workbooks strictly to help you fill in the blanks for the areas where you may be short.
Okay, because you've been working on this for a long
time. Everything now is online. Okay. So everything, if they take the assessment at BeRealTest.com, then they will get an email that will direct them in one of the 3 areas, whether it's children or personal development or speaking. And then there's a series of videos that they will get, which will be training. And then they'll also be notified of where they can go for more. I have an online training program for speakers, an online training program for Be More Authentic, and a training program also for parents.
That's great.
Fantastic.
It's taken years to put together.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to have put it to bed now. And so now it's about marketing, which is the writing of it is a whole different energy than the marketing, of course. Yes. So that's where I'm in now, the transition to the marketing. And I'm so glad to be, I'm born on the cusp, okay? So my first part of my life was Capricorn, right? Now I'm into Sagittarius.
I know exactly what you're saying because I'm Capricorn too. So I know exactly
that Saturn will keep you and keep you.
Oh, yeah. And you keep working on it. See, this system, Small Biz Pro, 9 years it took me to develop this. 9 years.
And you can't let it go.
And I can't let it go. I'm still working on it.
Until you are released.
You see what I'm saying? I'm still working on it. So I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But we're coming close to the end of our show.
So we're going to have her tell her where to get her book.
Yes, tell us
really quickly, Attracting the Best. It's all about positive affirmations, reprogramming your subconscious mind, affirming what it is that you want, wealth, prosperity, and abundance in your life now. The book is available. It's a bestseller on Amazon.com. You can also find the book at my website, Attracting the Best.
Attracting the Best. Wow, we've just such a wonderful synergy here today.
Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what does is there an assessment tool in there?
There is an assessment tool. There's 33 days in here of affirmations. And for those of you who are out there, maybe you're wondering what is an affirmation. It is really affirming what you want, putting it out there into the universe so that it actually manifests. There's pages in here for you to actually write your financial intention, your money intention. What is it that you're grateful for? I also have some pages back here that will allow you to jot down a few other things. There's, your important people that you should have at your fingertips, your attorney, your accountant, things like that. Your insurance person, your insurance. So there's a lot of different things that are going on in this book. But I like to say, use it for journalizing. Use it as a when you are in meditation mode and you, in the morning, the evening, or devotion, and write down what it is you're intentional about. And believe me, the law of attraction, I do believe in it, and it'll happen.
It does work.
Right. So, just continuously repeat whatever it is, whatever you want to affirm, put it out there in the universe.
So entrepreneurs, you've got the Attracting the Best over here, and you've got the 9 dimensions of authenticity. So put them together, they will make you whole.
And Cozette, we both are like, when people think of bookkeepers and accountants and tax people, they think of them very rigid people, very structured people. We're like the anti-accounting people. Right. We operate in intuitiveness and awakeness and awareness.
All of it.
So we're the new type of accounting people. We're the touchy-feely kind in the new age.
That's the good kind.
But it's been so wonderful. Russell Taylor told me to tell you hi.
Hey, Russell, how you doing?
Another one of you're so funny. When I did my speech, when I was doing speaking at the Bella Network, one of the things I talked about was how connected we all are with various people.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I utilized my LinkedIn. And since I knew who was in the room, I went through and connected all of the 20 of us that were speakers and how we were connected and who we were connected to and how we all came together. In
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah. And they're like, wow. And so one lady said, and I told them that I know everybody on my LinkedIn. These are people that I've had actually conversations with, that I speak with on a regular basis. The same thing with my Facebook. These are just not arbitrary people that I just pulled out of the air. Right. I have, before they're even included into my LinkedIn, I have to see where our mutual connections are. And then I have a certain number in my head on who those connections are and how many are there, so that I know who's in my network and how I can utilize them to do what I do. And so it was really profound. They're like, I didn't know you were supposed to know your people on your LinkedIn. Like,
what a concept.
What a concept, right?
That's the whole idea.
Well, I congratulate you for that, because you get so many requests, and to take the time to do that, that's admirable. That's wise also.
Yeah, it's wise, because I want to make sure that I'm benefiting. So the stuff that I'm uploading, the materials, that is being beneficial for those people within my peer structure.
That's a good idea.
And that I can reach out to.
I told you she's very resourceful.
Right.
Why do you think we work so well together?
Well, my thing is that anything you need should be at your fingertips.
That's
right.
True.
And it should be part of your network and part of the people you know. So you don't have to go out and find strangers to help promote you. These are people that you should have some relationship with.
That's
exactly.
true.
Yeah, to help that word of mouth stuff. That's important.
So, Miss Norma T. Hollis, I've given you my card.
Yes.
I'd like you to send me an email, and I'll send you the instructions as how to log into Small Biz Pro and make it work for you. I'm going to give you a lifetime membership.
Whoa, why thank you
for
very
free.
Much. What a blessing.
Because once you've used it and you see how well it works for you, I'm sure you're going to refer to all these other people.
Got it.
That's the idea.
Got it. Okay.
And
Got it.
Dr. Cozette White, the same thing for you. We're going to send you the instructions, and I really, really want you to use it and then refer it to your clients.
Got it.
It's going to make your life so much easier.
Got it.
Okay.
And it's been such a pleasure for both, and we're going to talk because I have an aspiration. I want to be on the speaking bureau, on the speaking platform with George Fraser. That's where I want to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk, for
we
sure.
need to do that,
sure, yes.
and you and I we're going to do some stuff together because we could definitely some synergy with us.
That's great.
And all of us, and it's just been such a pleasure. And I'm going to send you guys links to the show. Okay. You can utilize it however you need. I'll send you clip it up, and then I'll send you the whole one. Okay. All we ask you to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay connected with us.
And ask your subscribers to subscribe also.
All right.
And so we can build our network and our population, and that's great. That's all we need.
Sounds good.
Definitely.
Yeah, we can do that.
So, Crystal, we got about 2 minutes.
Let me see. Anything going on? Recycling Black Dollar Breakfast Mixer on the 11th at Denny's on Crenshaw between 8 and 10 in the morning. We have Miss Norma Hollis is going to be one of our guests, and Mr. Joe Razan, who is the new executive director over at Vermont Slauson.
When are we bringing him in on the show?
Joe, actually, I'm trying to get in the show. Oh, you won't be here. I'm trying to get him next week, but I think he's in
get him when I'm here.
Okay, so I'll move him down. He's in he's in D.C. trying to with Maxine Waters trying to make some stuff happen.
When I'm here,
so I'll make sure. But he's going to be on the show.
Okay, definitely. And so you've got Recycling Black Dollars Breakfast. Now, I know that Edison is starting their EDGE program again. Are you in on that?
Yeah, we will be having a class, networking actually. We're securing a date, probably be mid toward the end of April. Okay. And we'll have a location and so forth in place. So I will let everybody know that it's important that you guys learn how to network, because networking is the key. Relationships are the key to growing your businesses.
Okay, so I'll be teaching 2 Edison EDGE program classes. One will be April 25th. That's going to be building your operational capacity. Okay. I'll teach them how to build infrastructure, go over best practice compliance and all of that, risk management. All of those things we'll be covering, which is really excellent. They love it. So we're going to do that on April 25th, and we're also going to do it again August 1st.
Okay.
And next week, as you know, I'm going to be in Vegas next week teaching the Nevada Contractors Association. Next week we're going to do certifications. So we're going to go over certifications with them in Vegas. Their certification is similar but a little different. So we're going to go over that with them. And of course, we've got the National Latina Businesswomen Association workshop coming up for the LA chapter. And that's going to be next week, Wednesday, and every Wednesday until May 10th. So that's what we've got in store. I'm very excited about this. And we've got Mount SAC coming up, right?
We have Mount SAC coming up. It's a little challenging. We got some stuff to talk about on it. But yes, we have Mount SAC starting on May 8th, and looking forward to that. And there's some other stuff that's over the summertime that's going to be fantastic.
Excellent.
So we are at the top of our hour, and we want to thank everyone. We want to thank our guests for being here and sharing. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
And you can, if you didn't get to see the show, you can. We will have the show uploaded to our YouTube channel, so check it out. Make sure that you subscribe to us so you know every Friday evening when we have our show, and you can stay on top of all these wonderful guests that we have. We just ask you to go out and be successful, be bold, and be expansive about your business, and be open.
And remember, you gotta stay ready in order to be ready. If you need the information from our show, make sure you go to YouTube and type the Business Zone. Business and zone, that's one word, Business Zone. And you can obtain the video, and you could use it, you can market it, send it, share it with as many people as you want. But this is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert, and we're out.
See you next week.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.